Hello, everybody, and welcome to Is It Kino? I am your host, Monkey Jones.
And I'm E-Rich.
And today we're discussing a little known movie I like to call Brawl in Cell Block 99. Is that the correct title, E Rich?
Yeah, I think a bunch of weebs get arrested and then they play Super Mario Brothers
Oh shit,
Brawl.
that'd be an interesting movie if they had
Super
Brawl
Smash
in prison.
Brothers.
But that's not quite what this movie is. Folks at home, you've probably never heard of this movie, and that's for good reason. Not because it's
hmm
necessarily bad, but because it did not get a wide release. It's in, I think, maybe 5 theaters in the country. None of which are near my house, but then also it was released on VOD, which I think
Yes.
stands for Video on Download on Pirate Bay. Is that what it stands for?
Yes.
So
That's what
the
most people treat it as.
the only reason why E-Rich and I have heard of this movie is because the 4chan board TV has been making a lot of threads about it. Because whenever a movie is available on a torrent website, it's suddenly TV's favorite movie. I wonder why. I can
hmm
only imagine, what might be going on there. Some sort of crazy coincidence every month when a new movie gets released on VOD. And talking about how it's some hardcore Vince Vaughn Kino, it might be
hmm
the emerging birth of a Vince Vaughn-essence, some
Oh,
might
that's a good
say.
one. Vaughnaissance.
Look at this and see how it is. So, Erich, would you like to give us a brief synopsis of what this film is about without giving too much away?
Yeah, so basically, Brawl in Cell Block 99. I was about to say Vince Vaughn beats people up. That's
That's
not the
pretty much
title,
the
though
movie.
that should be. But it's basically about this guy who's down on his luck. His wife may be cheating on him. Who knows?
See, when there's cuckolding in the first 10 minutes, you know it's going to be Kino.
Yeah, exactly. That's an early good sign of a contender,
Yep.
right there. So yeah, his wife may be cheating on him, so he starts to go into the drug business, running drugs,
Uh-oh.
and then he gets even down deeper when things go wrong, and the two thugs he's attached to I don't know, what is he doing? He's shepherding the drugs from one location to another, or
Yeah,
picking
pretty
up.
much.
Yeah, when that goes wrong, he makes a bad decision and ends up paying for it. And by paying for it, I mean getting raped in the ass by multiple black men in the prison. Oh wait, did I see the
Um,
right movie?
no, I think you saw Brawl and Cell Block my asshole.
Brawl in Cell Block 69 is what I saw.
Much
No.
funnier than my shitty fucking joke. So,
No, but he gets into a prison, and that's when the movie gets good, in my opinion. Like
yeah.
I won't really say what happens to him in prison because that's kind of the meat of the movie that it eventually gets around to, and that's the title of the movie. So the entire movie, you're thinking, when is he gonna get to this? Cell
Yeah,
Block
where's this
99.
fucking Brawl at? What?
It's like watching Casablanca, and they don't get to fucking Africa until fucking halfway through the movie. But
Yeah, they don't really say the phrase Cell Block 99 until maybe three-fourths through the movie.
yeah, even that Cell Block is not a big part of it until the very
But
end.
let me show my cards on the table right now, because folks,
All
okay, you
right.
got the synopsis. You know, it's Vince Vaughn in a role like we've never seen him before. I've never really cared about Vince Vaughn in my life. I don't
Yeah.
know if I've seen a full Vince Vaughn movie all the way through. I haven't seen Wedding Crashers. I haven't
hmm
seen what the fucking Google movie was he in that shit?
The internship.
Yeah, the internship. So in
Fuck
my
no.
mind, I've always thought of Vince Vaughn as like that unfunny guy who's in shitty comedies.
hmm
And then he was in True Detective season 2, which didn't necessarily help things. Although I heard he's the best part of it, even though it's terrible.
He does a good job with a terrible fucking script. Fucking
Hey,
Nick Pizza Pie just gives him the worst shit to say, and
maybe
Vince
that
Vaughn
was that
tries
that
his
was the true
best.
beginning of the Vince Vaughn
No,
assance.
that's what I'd argue is that he does quite a lot with a really kind of fucking shitty role. But yeah,
And then in this film, he's not playing a necessarily funny character. He's playing a 6'4" tank with legs. He's a fucking monster. He's terrifying, but he's like such a sweetheart, good old boy, southern protector of the innocent.
I think
Everything
we can both agree that in this movie, Vince Vaughn is revealed as a big guy for me.
definitely for me.
He is so fucking huge.
So let me say, you're wondering at home, is this movie Kino? This movie I've never heard of before. Is it Kino? Allow me to quench your thirst by saying yes. The film is definitely Kino, and it's a very rare form of Kino that I like to call
Mm.
that I like to call A screenwriter sat down and thought, what's the most fucked situation I can put somebody in? Oh, I know. It's that type of Kino. And the tip of the mountain peak of this type of Kino is one of my favorite films, a Serbian film, which I've talked about a lot of videos about on the main channel. A movie where it's very similar to this movie, where the first half is kind of slow and it's building up, but there's a lot of slow parts. But then when you get to that second half, baby, and the action gets going, oh, buddy, you're tuned in. I would say Brawl and Cell Block 99, it does for prisons what a Serbian film does for porn. There are no explicitly disgusting sexual scenes in this movie. It's more about, how explicitly disgusting prison life is. And there's lots of great bloody violence of people getting the shit beat out of them. So, just right off the bat, if you don't want to hear spoilers that we'll probably get into later on, if you liked a Serbian film and you want to see a Vince Vaughn prison slightly watered down version of that, I'd say definitely check out Brawl and Cell Block 99 because it's definitely Kino in that regard.
I'm very split on this movie, and I think part of the reason
that was an M. Night Shyamalan movie. This is different.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Split. Oh, fuck you.
I'll get a good joke in this episode at some point.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, I'm right down the middle with this movie because, and I think part of it is my kind of problem, is that I went into this movie thinking it would be a very serious prison drama type movie where it would be Vince Vaughn in a prison having to deal with the prison problems and beating the shit out of some people, and that would be the full extent of the movie. What I did not expect was a exploitation type movie, like a pulpy, more action heavy, or more violence forward movie.
And for those at home who don't know what that means, what is an exploitation movie?
So exploitation movies usually would play up certain factors, usually social issues, and it kind of made it full in your face, kind of full force, making you look at something as disgusting as it can make it. So like a bunch of blaxploitation movies, for example.
Yeah, like Django, maybe.
Yeah, the original Django movies, totally. So I did not expect to get that, and I guess the first half of the movie threw me off because I didn't expect for it to be about this man who was struggling to kind of, within this really shitty situation he had dealt to him, where his wife is cheating on him. There's a great scene. So we talked about in the Ghost Story where Rooney Mara eats a fucking pie, and that's the entire movie.
Don't you dare compare the car destruction scene to that.
In this movie, Vince Vaughn beats up a car. And the car
that little mini game in Street Fighter 2 where you're between Blanca and Chung Li and you got to beat up a car for 30 seconds? That's in this movie with Vince Vaughn just beating up a fucking car.
And I gotta say, just for that scene of him beating the shit out of this car, like, I don't mind the beginning of the movie.
It's pure Kino.
Even though I didn't care much for the first half, I thought the first half was kind of hackneyed, and a lot of to me there wasn't much character development. The fucking wife is a cheater, and that's kind of her entire role. She's later just pregnant. Yeah. She's just pregnant wife, default pregnant wife. And he kind of has some interesting character decisions.
Well,
to make,
he has one of the most interesting.
Stupid.
Yeah, let me say, let's go into spoilers a bit. So real quick before we go in, would you recommend this movie to anybody listening at home?
Yeah, I'd recommend this movie if you have 2.5 hours to spend on it. And then don't expect like a serious character drama. Expect a kind of violent exploitation type
gruesome
movie.
Gruesome film.
It basically has to center around a great Vince Vaughn performance, which this movie has in spades. Like, if this movie didn't have Vince Vaughn, I'm not sure I would be recommending it. But Vince Vaughn just does such a great job of selling this character. His accent might come and go, as far as I heard.
Which I think the character does on purpose because he wants to play up his southern charm for some of the characters.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, anyway, we're going into spoiler territory. So if you really fucking care about spoilers for this kind of dumb exploitation film, then listen no further. But here we go. I agree with you. This scene where he gets arrested, Vince Vaughn is in a position where the cops are fighting the two guys he's working with, and he can easily escape. But he has this like this weird moral core center to him where he wants
Mhm.
to protect the innocent, people like his wife, his unborn child, and now also these police officers who are firing at these two guys who he's being forced to deal
Mhm.
drugs with. And instead of running away, he goes and gets involved in the fight and kills the two Mexican partners who he's being forced to work with, and then gets arrested.
Which
When
can I say when he goes to kill the second guy or whatever, which the second guy is basically just rolling grenades
yeah,
towards the police and like
yeah.
blowing shit up. At one point, this thug says, "You ready for 9/11 Part 2?" Like, there are some lines that thug says that I was just like, "Holy shit!" Like these are really shitty one-liners.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: I thought this was a serious drama movie. So when this fucking thug is saying this dumb shit, I'm like, "Oh, this is a very different movie than what I
Yeah.
expected."
So the scene when Vince Vaughn makes the choice to go help the police and get arrested, I was in the same boat as you. I thought this guy's a fucking idiot. How am I supposed to like this character when he's so clearly stupid? But then as the movie went on and I thought about it, I realized, that might not be the choice I would have made. But
Mhm.
Vince Vaughn, like those police officers are completely innocent and he hates these two thugs and he does not want these thugs to kill innocent police officers. And Vince Vaughn, he's an all-American boy. He's a patriot. He fucking loves
Mhm.
his country, and so he's gonna respect a man in uniform. So of course this character goes to save the police officers. And I didn't like it at first, but when I thought about it, it made sense. It's just unfortunate that he had to make that sacrifice of going to prison and missing out on his child being born. But he
Mhm.
valued those cops' lives so much, and I think that's
Yeah, yeah.
respectable on some level.
It feels weird, like because he makes a point later in the movie that like he doesn't like hurting wives or children or women and children and everything, but he doesn't have similar compunctions about like selling drugs and shit, which is primarily what he does. And like he basically his drug running job has given him a lot of money. Him and his wife have this big house. They're able to have. They have apparently solved whatever marital issues they were having
Yeah.
that caused him to beat the shit out of their car. But he doesn't seem to have much of a problem with selling drugs, and
Well, it's
drugs can
because
ruin people's
Vince Vaughn is
lives.
a protector of the innocent. His wife is
Hmm.
innocent. The cops are innocent. Somebody who's buying drugs, by definition, is not innocent. So fuck him. Fuck
Okay,
him.
but like if he doesn't like the dudes and he doesn't necessarily want to be arrested, like I think if he had his druthers, he wouldn't be arrested. He'd want to spend time with his wife and kids. He
Yeah.
should just fucking shoot those two guys when they were on the docks, and then he should just run, like take the money
Yeah.
and run.
Well, I mean, then we wouldn't have a movie, so it kind of had to
Yeah, yeah.
happen.
Hmm.
Okay,
But
so
then when
let's
they get to prison,
yeah, let's get
and
into the prison plot because that's when the movie cranks up the Kino into high gear and gets really
yeah,
good. So the boss of the two Mexican guys who died kidnaps Vince Vaughn's pregnant wife, and at the threat of and here's the best character in any
oh
movie
my
I've ever
god,
seen.
this guy,
He's
this
so
fucking
good.
guy.
There's this. I think is he Vietnamese? What is he?
I thought he was Korean.
Okay, so there's this Korean abortionist who is so
Yeah.
talented that he can go inside to the fetus and cut off its limbs without killing it so that when the baby is born, it will have no arms or legs. And they threaten Vince Vaughn and say, this is what we're going to do unless you get transferred to a maximum security prison and go into cell block 99 and kill this one specific guy who we want to be killed.
This
And
is
Vince
the exploitation part of the movie, a big part of it, where like basically you have this abortionist who's doing this crazy, like just something out of the worst nightmares. Is this guy
yeah.
can go into the woman's womb and fucking clip this fetus's arms and legs or whatever. It's fucking nuts.
And of course we're in the spoiler talk, but towards the end of the movie when the abortionist finds out he's not going to be able to do this, he
He's so fucking sad. He's
he's
so
so
downtrodden.
disappointed. It's the funniest shit ever. I
Yeah.
loved that character. I don't think he even like said a full sentence in the movie.
He
But
said like 5 or 6 words throughout the
yeah,
entire movie, but he was
just
great.
the look on his face when he realizes he can't chop up this fetus. He is
Mhm.
so fucking dejected and sad. It's
And it was little
amazing.
things like that that really kept me in the movie because I just love like little background characters that have kind of their own inner life and just want to do the thing they do.
So, under the threat of his wife and unborn child being harmed, Vince Vaughn,
Yes.
has to give up his morals and just beat the shit out of everybody to get transferred to the other prison, and then do
Hmm.
whatever is necessary to get transferred into the grim, dark, super bad, awful Cell Block
The
99.
awful prison is so hilariously over the top.
Yeah, it's great.
Fucking, I think Don Johnson is the warden
Yep.
of this crazy prison, and he just has a lot of fun, just kind of like skulking around Vince Vaughn and telling him about how terrible the place is. Like the jackbooted thugs who are the guards there. It's just so over the top. It's hilarious. Like basically, as soon as it gets to prison stuff, I kind of go full bore for this movie. I really liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's as if, the screenwriter sat down and he thought, okay, what's the worst prison Vince Vaughn can be in? What's every little thing I could throw at him to make his
Hmm.
situation just so fucked? And they did it so well that I was enthralled by the film. It reminded me of a Serbian film in a lot of ways where it's like, wow,
Mm.
this could not get more fucked. Oh, wait, it just did. Oh, wait, it just did again. And by the time he gets into Cell Block 99, it's just the saddest position that I think a character can possibly be in, especially
Hmm.
once the twist is revealed, which I guess we might as well talk about because we're doing spoiler
Sure.
talk. The twist is that the guy who he's on a mission to kill doesn't actually exist, and the Mexican drug lord guy just wanted Vince Vaughn's character to suffer in the worst prison cell in America, and then
Yeah.
also beat the shit out of him on a daily basis because the guards are getting paid off.
Yeah, it's entirely to torture him and just fuck
He's
with him
got
so
like a
much.
fucking like an electric belt on, so whenever they want, they can just shock the
Yeah.
shit out of him. It's just the worst situation you can imagine being in, and I'm like, wow, Vince Vaughn's getting fucking tortured. What's he gonna do about this? And then he does something about it, and it's
Yeah.
so great to watch.
I was gonna say he gives as good as he gets by the time he's cracking skulls, and so before he gets into the Cell Block 99 place, the other prison, what Oak Leaf or Red Leaf or Red Oak, whatever the fuck.
Something like that, yeah.
Um, yeah, before he goes there to get into the prison, he like fucking attacks this guard. He fucking snaps his arm like straight back,
And the
like. And
bones sticking out.
I gotta say the sound effects in this movie are great. Where even when you don't think you should be hearing cracking noises and squelching noises and everything, that's right there in the sound mix. He's fucking like punching guys, and you can hear every single bone fucking shatter. It's great.
Again, Vince Vaughn is a force to be reckoned with. I never thought I would say Vince Vaughn looks menacing, but he bulked up. His 6'4" frame. It's hard to get that thing looking good, especially on an older man. And
Hmm.
he earned this role.
Well, he's always been tall, but he's usually pretty
Oh, he didn't just get tall
schlubby.
for this movie.
No, no, yeah, he didn't get into the stretcher.
Oh shit! Wait, they
No,
have those? What the fuck?
yeah,
I've been
man
waiting
lifts
all
the
my life for
wear.
that shit.
Yeah. So he is he's very imposing. He's completely bald. He's got this cross on the back of his
Yeah.
head. He looks pretty threatening in this movie. Like I really think that, and like I think his the martial arts or the fighting he does in this movie, it's decent. I think sometimes it's a little bit choreographed, but I think there's some like you can't really do anything about that at some points. It's just gonna look like he's going through the motions of it.
Yeah,
But
because
yeah,
it can't be like the raid where it's like these little Asian men who are super fast and nimble and shit. Like Vince Vaughn's just like a giant dude who's slowly slugging out these huge punches at people. It's not going to be
yeah,
a fast-paced, crazily choreographed film. It's. I mean, I'd say it's a little more realistic than the raid in the sense that like in a real fight, yeah, these people are going to be very
yeah.
sloppy and all over
You
each
wouldn't
other.
have seven martial artists all fucking trying to kill each
Yeah,
other.
doing flips and jumps and crazy shit, which
Yeah,
is fucking great in its own right. And I love both of the Raid movies, but this is like a
yeah.
different thing. So you shouldn't expect. I've seen a lot of complaining on TV, which is why I bring it up. That they're saying, "Oh, the fight choreography looks so shit. It's nothing like the Raid." And I'm thinking, what are you fucking complaining about? It's not trying to be the Raid.
It's very slow, but you can make out everything that he's doing and all of the moves that kind of end up impacting people. He fucking throws a bunch of punches in this movie that just look like they're fucking earth shattering to
Brutal.
anybody who receives them. Yeah.
So I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover. I think You know, even if you haven't seen it and you listen through the spoilers, which I imagine most of you did because who really gives a fuck, you should
Yeah.
definitely go check it out because there's a lot of great shit we have not mentioned that I don't want to go into everything. But Rich,
Yeah.
are there any other points you wanted to make?
Basically, just the last shot of this movie really sold
Oh
this
my
movie to me.
fucking god, yeah. That was the final nail in the coffin of is this gonna be Kino? And I was like, you're goddamn right, it's gonna be Kino.
Yeah, totally. I'd say it's definitely worth watching the first half to get to the second half, and like I think the first half does add more to his character because you kind of get a sense for why he's doing all of this, and I think it works overall. I just wasn't expecting that kind of movie in the beginning,
Yeah.
but I do readjust my kind of expectations and watch it on its own merits, and it did well. It was also interestingly shot. It's very washed out. I don't know whether it's the color timing they really messed with, but it's also bleak and bleached out, and yeah.
And despite how, as you were saying, bleak, like the shot looks bleak and just like the
Mhm.
tone and the scenario is just so bleak. And yet, I don't feel depressed or sad watching the movie. It's exciting and kind of fun the whole time,
Yeah, totally.
despite how
Yeah,
fucked the situation is.
yeah. If you can get into that exploitation movie, like crazy shit is gonna happen here, you're gonna have a great time watching this movie. It'll definitely be a new classic for people who like that kind of thing.
So go pull up your thepiratebay.org and find the movie or pay for it. I don't care.
Yeah, actually, Monkey, you might call me a cuck, but I did
Uh-oh.
actually. I rented this movie from the PlayStation video service or whatever.
Well, to be
Uh,
fair, if the film was playing at a theater near me, I would have went and movie passed it. So I wanted to give the movie money,
mm,
but they didn't give me the opportunity. And
fuck you.
fuck it.
Vince Vaughn ain't sleeping on Monkey's dime.
All right. For Is It Kino, I've been Mumkey Jones.
And I've been E Rich. Good night, everybody.